Tonight, shuttle discussions on the race to finding consensus on the Building Bridges Initiative report is gathering pace amid some alluding at a constrained consensus. Proposals for the amendment of the report are staring at a hard position not to amend. Tonight, we speak to Isiolo County Woman Rep. Rehema Jaldesa, who is also the Secretary General of the Pastoralist Parliamentary Group, Ndegwa Ohome, the Chairman of the County Assemblies Forum, and our resident analyst, Herman Manyora. Good evening. I'm Abubakar Abdullahi. Keep talking to us. The hashtag to use tonight is Pandits Night. But first, these are the stories making headlines tonight. Tonight, US biotechnology firm Moderna reports 95% effective COVID-19 vaccine. The firm says it is ready to seek government approval in the coming weeks. This even as the Kenyan government yet again dismisses such a vaccine.
Kenya will not also used as guinea pigs.
Also tonight, a Form 4 student in St. Elizabeth Girls Lureko in Mumias West has succumbed to COVID-19 as the government says it is monitoring the situation in schools. Plus, all schools will reopen on the 4th of January next year.
All schools will reopen fully on the 4th of January 2021.
Grade 4 learners will transition to Grade 5 in July according to the calendar released today. Tonight of all nights, Anne Wairimu is our sign language interpreter. Good evening and welcome to the broadcast. Now, all learners will officially reopen for Term 2 on the 4th of January 2021 for all learners. Education Cabinet Secretary Professor George Magoha says the learners will then proceed for a 7-week holiday from 19th of March to allow Class 8 and Form 4 candidates to sit for their national examinations. Our Education Affairs reporter Sharon Baranga has the details.
The long wait from learners to reopen school and resume learning is almost over. This is after the government announced the 2021 school calendar that is set to resume for second term on the 4th of January next year to end on 19th March 2021.
This will apply to PP1 and 2, Grade 1, 2 and 3, Class 5, 6 and 7, and Form 1, 2 and 3 learners. 2. All 4-year-olds will join PP1 in July 2021.
Second term will last for 11 weeks and all the learners with exception on Class 8 and Form 4 candidates will break for a 7-week holiday before they resume learning for third term on 10th May 2021. And this is why.
To allow for KCPE and KCSE examination administration and marking.
The Kenya Certificate of Primary Education Examination KCPE will start on 22nd March 2021 and it will end on 24th March 2021, while the Kenya Certificate of Secondary Examination KCSE will begin on 26th March 2021 to end on 21st April 2021. Prior to this, the candidates will have completed their practicals and comprehension exams. And there is a tweak in the just designed timetable. Grade 4 pupils and Class 8 graduates who reopened school on the 12th October 2020 will stay at home as other learners complete their third term by 16th July 2021. In July, Grade 4 competency-based curriculum pupils will transition to Grade 5.
The government is determined to ensure a safe reopening and learning of our schools. In doing so, we are drawing important lessons from the partial reopening that has taken place since October. We are confident that we will remain on the right trajectory to finding the winning formula.
Over the last 1 month, we have been impressed by the work done by teachers to assist students to navigate the new regime of wearing masks, social distancing, and washing hands regularly. And we encourage our teachers not to drop the ball in the quest to make adherence to these protocols a social norm. These practices must be deeply entrenched in the learners' DNAs.
The education stakeholders came up with the 2021 school calendar a few days after President Uhuru Kenyatta issued a 2-week ultimatum to design one so that learners, teachers and parents could have a clear picture of when learning will resume after being home for months. Teachers above the age of 58 have, however, been advised to stay away from classes.
Historically, this has been the longest break learners have had on the school calendar that happened impromptu after schools were closed indefinitely in March as a result of COVID-19. But now the timetable is out and parents and learners have time to prepare for the official opening of schools next year. Sharon Baranga, TV47.
Elsewhere, a US-based company has announced 95% success of its experimental vaccine in preventing one from contracting COVID-19. This as LCS Mutahi Kagwe once again dismisses the existence of a successful vaccine as he warns that Kenya will not be used as a guinea pig in vaccine trials. Zainab Mohammed has the details.
Moderna, a US-based company, has announced 95% success of its experimental vaccine in preventing one from contracting COVID-19. The company that is the second one to announce a huge progress in the search for a vaccine after Pfizer vaccine says its interim analysis was based on 95 infections among trial participants who received either a placebo or the vaccine. Out of the 95 infections, only 5 infections have occurred in those who received the vaccine, which is administered in 2 shots 28 days apart. However, Health CS Mutahi Kagwe, who recently went viral for casting doubts on the effectiveness of a vaccine in the fight against COVID-19, has once again come out to rubbish the participation of Kenya in vaccine trials, saying Kenya will not be used as guinea pigs.
Nobody would want us to succeed in getting a vaccine more than the Ministry of Health and the government of the Republic of Kenya. That is why we are also involved through KEMRI, Wellcome Trust. We are also involved in the attempt to come up with a vaccine and to help people and to save lives. But let me also say this. Thus Kenya will not also used as guinea pigs to test vaccines that are essentially not cleared.
According to Kagwe, despite the government championing the efforts for the search of a COVID-19 vaccine, it will be extra careful in selecting which trials to participate in.
The side effects that we have seen with vaccines that have already been launched, then you can understand why we want the vaccine yesterday, but we are also cautious. And those who are rushing to tell us about the vaccines are the ones who will rush to condemn us when we start getting people dying or having serious side effects.
This even as the country today records a total of 559 infections, 478 recoveries and 18 deaths. The government maintains that the search for a COVID-19 vaccine is a work in progress and that Kenya will not be used as guinea pigs in vaccine trials that have not been tried and tested. Zainab Mohammed, TV47, Nairobi.
Moving on, a Form 4 candidate at Lureko Secondary School in Mumias County, Mumias West, Kakamega County has succumbed to COVID-19. 18 other students from various neighboring schools have also tested positive, as Andrin Kilemi now reports.
COVID-19 infections have constantly been reported in various schools across the country, with Lureko Secondary School in Mumias joining the list of schools that have already reported cases of COVID-19. A Form 4 student succumbed to COVID-19, though reports indicate she had other complications. Confirming the reports, Kakamega County Health CEC Collins Matemba said the student was first rushed to St. Mary's Hospital before being transferred to Life Care Private Hospital, where she was announced dead. Speaking on Monday, Health Cabinet Secretary Mutahi Kagwe said the government is taking necessary measures to control the spread of the virus in schools, and institutions that will report COVID-19 cases might be shut with immediate effect.
We have said we will take serious surgical measures so that if there are infections in any school, we will close that institution. And on schools that don't have any infections, then we do not have to close those institutions. And as for opening in January, as we have said often, that's an aim. That's something we hope we can be able to do. But of course, you know, there is no hard and fast rule that says if the infections have gone above control or we are being overwhelmed, then we have to live up to that particular statement.
The Ministry of Health is evaluating COVID-19 in schools before making a conclusive decision on reopening fully.
Even though we have recorded cases, the available space in terms of infrastructure has ensured that we are able to isolate those cases and learning has continued uninterrupted. Why is it important to open schools? Because school is the safest corridor for students and pupils to be able to achieve their full potential.
Already, the Ministry of Education has announced that schools will reopen fully in January 4th, 2021. Andrin Kilemi, TV47.
Well, the virus is continuously roaming into different counties in the country, forcing some to scale down their operations. As a result, Kilifi County government has announced stiff measures aimed at curbing the spread of COVID-19 in the county, effective today for the next 2 weeks. Nanok Lorraine reports.
Kilifi County government has announced stiff measures aimed at curbing the spread of COVID-19 in the county, which has been rising in the past 2 weeks. The measures include the ban of all tournaments and political rallies in the county, with Kilifi County Governor Amason Kingi saying the new measures are set to take place immediately to see how the response will be to either warrant more strict measures if the situation will not have changed. In the past 1 week, 7 bars have been shut down, with more than 800 people being arrested for flouting COVID-19 rules.
Kwa hivyo kuanzia leo kwenda mbele mpaka ile wakati tumeona kwamba visa hivi vimeanza kulegea, vimeanza kudidimia na vimeanza kupungua kwa pakubwa, hakutakuwa na tournament yoyote ambayo itafanyika katika kaunti yetu. Na hakika hata Mombasa tumekubaliana pia nao watafanya lile.
Zile mabaa ambayo tumefunga ni 7. Wale watu wameshikwa kutovaa mask ni 454. Wale watu wameshikwa kwa sababu ya kukeuka sheria za curfew ni 419.
Elsewhere, Kirinyaga County headquarters have been shut down following COVID-19 infections. The county boss, Uhuru, has directed the office's closure for a period of 2 weeks, with county officers expected to develop plans to ensure critical departmental functions are performed while observing COVID-19 guidelines. And operations at Murang'a County headquarters have been scaled down after a surge in COVID-19 infections. Employees of Murang'a County government who do not offer essential services have been sent home for a 14-day leave after an increase in the rate of infections. Last week, public health officers backed by police netted more than 200 people in the 8 sub-counties for violating COVID-19 protocols.
Effective today, we have scaled down our operations at all the county offices due to increased cases of COVID-19.
As a result, Health CS Mutahi Kagwe has directed the County National Response Committee to hold emergency meetings and begin considering surgical measures in the affected counties, as well as assess the county's preparedness and the status of PPEs.
County National Emergency Response Committees on COVID-19, co-chaired by governors and county commissioners, should hold emergency meetings and immediately start considering county-specific surgical measures to curtail the spread of the virus in the respective counties. This is in recognition of the fact that the attack rate in the country is different now from county to county, noting that the county has adequate stocks of personal protective equipment. County governments are advised to source the same from Kenya Medical Supplies at prevailing market rates. This is in accordance with agreement between the Ministry, the Council of Governors, and Parliament.
After convening a meeting with the Kenya Medical Pharmacists and Dentists Union KMPDU, Kagwe has also instructed the NHIF to conclude the negotiation on insurance cover and medical requests and demands made by the union and announce their conclusion and effectiveness tomorrow.
We have instructed the National Insurance Hospital Fund to quickly conclude the negotiations for comprehensive group life, last expense, enhanced work and injury benefits, and group personal accident cover for COVID-19 as approved by the Cabinet, and announce the conclusion and effectiveness of those insurance benefits tomorrow.
Nanok Lauren, TV47.
Moving on, Deputy President William Ruto has maintained that the BBI process should not be rushed, insisting for the improvement of its presentation and content. According to him, the BBI proponents must loosen their hard stance on some of the issues in the document, adding that it is regrettable that the report has turned out to be a divisive tool for the country's top leadership.
Deputy President William Ruto has once again castigated the proponents of the BBI report, opposed to amendments in the report. DP Ruto insisting that there should be no rush in passing the document if it has the best interest of Kenyans at heart.
And all other Kenyans who have views to enrich the BBI document, they are telling us they have no time because they had a whole 2 years to bring their views. I am asking them respectfully that the document we have, which has taken us 2 years, has so many gaps and is so controversial that unless you accommodate the views of the various stakeholders, we will end up with a lose-lose outcome.
According to the DP, the country is headed to a lose-lose outcome from the BBI report, adding that the costly 2-year final product still has a lot of glaring gaps. A section of political factions have proposed amendments in the report.
Those who will attempt to pass this document will end up with a bad constitution. And those who want to enrich this document will have lost an opportunity to enrich the document so that we can end up with a better document.
This even as ODM leader Raila Odinga continues to reiterate that there is no room for divergent views on the BBI report, saying the country is set for a referendum.
Everybody here approves without reservation the draft document that is now being presented to the people of Kenya. There are of course those naysayers, and they're always there, even in the Bible.
It means there was something that did not add up, and the work that was done was not entirely correct or was not entirely professional. So there is an opportunity for us to improve on the presentation and on the recommendations so that we can end up with a win-win outcome instead of a lose-lose outcome.
The collection of 1 million signatures in support of the report is expected to kick off on Thursday this week. Mombichege, TV47.
Nairobi Governor Mike Mbuvi Sonko has said that his administration has begun the process of revoking the deal he made with the national government under Nairobi Metropolitan Services, which included the handing over of key functions such as health services. Sonko said this while presenting the controversial health issues to the Senate Health Committee, claiming that City Hall has been locked out of the county coffers. Musa Salah now reports.
I have myself as the governor, I have been sidelined.
The Nairobi County government now says that it has begun the process of terminating the deed in which Nairobi Governor Mike Mbuvi Sonko handed over key functions such as health to the General Mohamed Badi-led Nairobi Metropolitan Services NMS. Presenting some of the contagious issues in the transfer of health functions to NMS, Sonko alleged that the transfer was unprocedural, adding that the public participation ought to have been done before the ratification of the deed of transfer. Sonko has also claimed that he signed the deed under duress and that he has constantly been intimidated by unnamed proxies from State House, maintaining that he will not fall into their trap.
The proxies from State House, they stole 63 billion, Mr. Chair, meant for health facilities to various counties. Nothing was delivered. Money was lost, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, what I mean here, the dark days are over. I will not allow anybody to breach the law. I'll not allow any intimidations, Mr. Chair, from anyone, Mr. Chair.
According to Sonko, his administration has not been given access to the county funds by the National Treasury since he signed the document, rendering his government helpless and failing to pay its pending bills. The Sonko administration claims that a conditional grant amounting to 127 million shillings has been locked up in a special purpose account at the Central Bank of Kenya, with an additional grant from the Danish international agency Danida, meant to support level 2 and 3 public health facilities being held in the County Revenue Fund account. Sonko has also alleged that the county is unable to use a further 79 million shillings from the Ministry of Health, claiming that the county finance officers have been locked out of the IFMIS system. Up until now, the Nairobi County government has a total of 1.4 billion shillings in debt in pending bills. However, Narok County Senator Olekina Ledama has blamed the NMS leadership for not claiming responsibility, further urging the Senate committee to come up with a long-lasting solution to City Hall and NMS woes.
So I think what needs to be done, and this is why I keep on insisting that it is us, the Senate, who must sit down and look at this issue, because Article 187(2) is very clear. Arrangements shall be put in place. It does not say Treasury to put in place. Because then if you say Treasury to put in place, then it is national government. It is not the arrangement between the two levels of government.
As Sonko continues to insist that a massive corruption scandal is brewing at NMS, alleging that NMS has single-sourced and awarded Megascope Limited, which was implicated in the KEMSA scandal, a multi-million shilling contract to construct 26 health facilities across Nairobi against the Public Procurement Act. The Senate Health Committee has promised to investigate the matter to find a long-lasting solution. Musa Salah, TV47.
Elsewhere, Olympic and World 3,000 meters steeplechase champion Cuproto was on Monday arraigned in castsigated law court and released on a 200,000 shillings bond. The 25-year-old is accused of defiling a 15-year-old girl on diverse dates of between 20th and 21st of October this year in Tironin location, Nandi County. He, however, denied the charges as demonstrators camped outside the court demanding justice for the victim. The case will be heard on 10th of May 2021. Elsewhere, Immaculate Kasait has been sworn in as a data commissioner. The ceremony was presided over by the Court of Appeal Registrar Moses Serem. Kasait, who will serve for a 6-year non-renewable term, is the country's first holder of that position. She will be responsible for the enforcement of the Data Protection Act as well as oversight on data processing operations, promoting self-regulation among data controllers.
And that I shall not, without the due authority in that behalf, disclose or make known any matter or thing which comes to my knowledge by reason of discharging of my duty. So help me God. data is everything. And perhaps because of our nature in terms of a country, our focus has been a lot on election data. However, data is including the information that is collected outside your gate with CCTV cameras. We don't ask questions. When we enter a building, our data is given. And what we need to ask ourselves, is it excessive? Why do I need to give my name, my fingerprints at a particular time? So this office is here to protect data. And as we know, data now today is the new oil. That data, unless processed, it means nothing. But we have marketers who use it. Unsolicited emails, unsolicited phone calls, in terms of your social media, how your data is used. So we would need to focus on that more.
Now, President Uhuru Kenyatta has urged the parties in the ongoing internal conflict in Ethiopia to find peaceful means to end the crisis. The president cautioned against the full-blown conflict in the country, saying Kenya and Ethiopia have long served as anchor states for regional peace and stability. He urged the federal government and the Tigrayan People Liberation Front to de-escalate the conflict, saying the crisis risks eroding gains made by Ethiopians in developing their country. Now, for many years, land ownership has been a preserve for men, especially in Taita Taveta County. This has been termed as a violation of human rights by rights defenders, but through the creation of awareness to Taita Taveta community, women are now owning land. Nicholas Diga with the details from Voi, Taita Taveta County.
According to the chairman Taita Taveta Human Rights Watch, Haji Mwakio, a large population of women in Taita Taveta County were denied land ownership after their husbands' deaths.
Masuala ya kina mama kumiliki ardhi. Na tumeona kwamba pamekuwa na mabadiliko kutoka 24% mwaka jana hadi 34% mwaka huu. Hiyo ni mafanikio kidogo. Lakini bado wajane sasa ndio wanaumia katika hii county.
The disabled persons have also been discriminated on matters in land ownership in Taita Taveta.
Tuna shida katika umiliki kwa haswa kwa kina mama ambao wanaishi na ulemavu pamoja na vijana wanaoishi na ulemavu. Kwa muda mrefu walikuwa wanafichwa ndani ya nyumba, ambayo hiyo tunatamka kama shirika ni dhulma, tena dhulma ya kiwango cha juu.
However, after civic education by Taita Taveta Human Rights Watch, many women are now allowed to own lands through joint land registration of both the husband and the wife.
Tunashukuru kwa sababu tumeona pia wanaume wameweza kubadilika, na wengi wao wale waliokuwa na miliki mashamba yao wakiwa peke yao na wako na titles, wengi wameamua kubadilisha kuwa na joint title ownership.
Women and girls in Taita Taveta County have fought for long to be included in community in land ownership. Nicholas Ndiga, TV47, Taita Taveta.
Moving on, Kenyatta University Teaching, Referral and Research Hospital has received PPEs from Equity Bank while handing over the consignment. Equity Group Chief Commercial Officer Polycarp Igade has said that this is the fourth consignment being delivered to the institution. So far, Equity Bank and the Kenya COVID-19 Fund Board have donated PPEs valued at 18 million shillings to the institution.
This is the fourth consignment of protective personal equipment to KUTRRH. It is the fourth time we come round. We've donated close to 18.5 million shillings of PPE to this institution. Most of the PPE we bring you here today has been produced locally. When we started, I think over 50% of the consignment used to be manufactured abroad. What we have brought you here today, 98% is manufactured within our borders. It's produced by Kenyan labor in Kenyan factories, and therefore not only are we encouraging industrialization and deepening of our PPE manufacture in the country? We are responding to this pandemic with real local input.
And as frontline workers, we appreciate the support and acknowledge the efforts of our partners.
I want to appreciate the COVID-19 Fund Board and Equity Group Foundation's efforts to protect frontline workers in many facilities that are grappling with the pandemic in this country.
Well, you're watching TV47 News Tonight with me, Abubakar Abdullahi. Let's get to the world of sports now, and who better to do this than Dennis Otieno, who joins us. Dennis, what do you have for us from the world of sports?
Thank you very much, Abubakar Abdullahi, for that introduction. A lot is prepared for you in the world of sports, ranging from Harambee Stars to international front of football. This coming your way soon.
Sports, brought to you by 555bet.
A very warm welcome to Primetime Sports. My name is Dennis Otieno, and we shall start off with local news. Now, the national men's soccer team, Harambee Stars, jetted back in the country just hours after suffering a 2-1 loss against Group G leaders, Comoros. The loss has boxed head coach Jacob Ghost Mulee into admitting that Kenya's hopes of qualifying for the 2022 African Cup of Nations in Cameroon are as well as over. Our sports writer Stephen Kiprop was at the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport to witness the Harambee Stars' return and now reports.
Monday midday, the chartered plane carrying the national men's soccer team Harambee Stars touched ground at the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport. Stars returning home heads down after a failed hunt in Comoros. Source privy to the TV47 sports desk indicate that the 2-hour flight was marred with a loud silence, probably a sign of dismay or maybe deeply engulfed in complicated arithmetics of sailing an almost impossible return to the continental showpace after slumping in Moroni. The 2-1 defeat to Group G leaders Comoros dealt a huge blow to Stars' hopes of qualifying for the 2022 AFCON finals in Cameroon. Head coach Jacob Ghost Mulee seeking refuge in the ban of contact sports in the country.
Ligi yetu haichezwi. Utaitegemea vipi wachezaji kufanya vizuri ambapo wachezi katika ligi? Sasa ni miezi 9 hajaingia kiwanjani. Kwa hivyo utapata ni mchanganyiko maalum. Ingekuwa labda ligi inaendelea kama mechi za kwanza za kufuzu, tukicheza na Misri, tukicheza na Togo hapa nyumbani, ligi ilikuwa ipo.
However, Harambee Stars sole scorer Cliff Nyakea is of a different opinion.
Game haikuwa ngumu vile. Tulifanyika kwa ngumu sisi wenyewe. Tulipofunga bao letu la kusawazisha, tulirelax sana. Second half tukaona kama hii game tutashinda. Tena wakatupunish. Wakaingia kwa game plan yao, wakaanza kudefend. Hatungeweza kubreak defense yao.
The Kenyan lads sit third in Group J with a return of 3 points from 4 matches, as Egypt, who have played a game less, sit second with 5. Comoros lead the way with 8 points. The hopes of Harambee Stars qualifying for the biennial showcase depend on victories against Egypt at Kasarani and away to Togo, with hopes that Egypt